Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Black is Magazine, where we are reaching the masses. We are so excited to be here today. We have Andrew OMalley here with us, who is our covered feature for the magazine that's coming up in April. So we're excited to have him. We're going to have a little interview, learn a little bit about Andrew here, but be sure to get the magazine so you can learn more about him in the magazine. Andrew, thank you so much for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let everybody know who you are and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, Marva, thank you for the warm welcome. So, hi, everyone. My name's Andrew O'Malley. I'm a high performance coach. So, what I do is I help frustrated business owners learn how to increase their productivity so they can earn more and start building their dream life. So, I work on things like goal setting, mindset, but also work with people in understanding their relationship with anxiety and depression and things like that, so then they can learn how to best show up as a greater version of themselves and kind of tackle life when things seem a little difficult, or when there's a lot of obstacles in the way.
That's amazing because when you talk about being a life coach, right? And
Yeah.
then you talk about what comes with that is anxiety, depression. You never know,
Hmm.
right? And so that kind of levels a business owner out whenever they can identify first that they
Mm,
have that issue, because some people won't admit it. Like they won't
that's
admit it,
true.
but in order to be successful, I think that you have to admit those things. What do you say
And
about
sometimes it's so normalized, right? You're supposed to be like antsy. You're supposed to be go, 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 and doing this, that, and the next thing, going to every event and being all the places. So sometimes we don't even realize that, oh, wait, like I have anxiety,
right,
that actually applies to me. So
right,
what can I be doing to take care of myself so I can win this business game or this game of life or whatever your goals are, how can I do this for the long run instead of these short little spurts?
absolutely. I like that. I can relate to that. I find myself going and
Mm,
coming, and sometimes we just got to stop and breathe in order to be
mhm,
successful. So when you talk about coaching, it's amazing that you mentioned that, first of all, because I talked to a lady that owns Anxiety Junkie, and what she was talking about,
mm,
Andrew, is even with children, anxiety in children, and they were committing suicide. And
right.
she wanted to get in front of that and try to figure out how can I help them avoid that,
For
Because I
sure.
feel like, and we'll see what you say, but I feel like when people don't know what's wrong with them, they can't identify that it's maybe a mental disorder. Not you're crazy, but you have mental
Hmm.
issues or whatever the underlying reason is. They don't know that. All they know is something
That's
is
the
wrong,
thing.
and they want it's to the point of wanting to take their own lives. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's the great thing about how I work with my clients is because I do the one-on-one. It gets pretty intimate, so we can go that layer deeper. We can figure out what they're focused on, what's going wrong, but then we can go that level deeper to say what's behind that. Okay, now that I know what these feelings are, why am I feeling this way, or what's causing this to come back up time and time again. And this also plays a great role because then in the future, after they've kind of worked with me, they've gone through my program, then I give these people the tools to handle it themselves. They
exactly.
go, all right, I'm back in this spot, I'm back in this pattern. Let me use these tools that I can use myself to make sure I don't go down that same path that I was going, to make
Right.
sure I don't suffer from the same symptoms I was suffering from, that I can, be better version of myself within this context.
Right. And I feel like, by coming and speaking with someone like yourself, you it's a way to identify. Now Andrew
Mm,
has given me the things that causes this to happen to me, and when it happens to me, I know what
mm,
it is now. And here are the
there's a
tools
name.
Andrew has given me in order to get through those. So I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's another key part because, historically, mental health and a lot of things, I mean, in a business context, but also in a general context, we're so stigma and so untalked about. We are getting to a place where a lot more people are at least better at identifying some of these things. But the critical next step is the action. I can name you a lot of people in my own network. We know what it is, we know what the problem is,
Mhm.
but now what?
Now
Okay,
what?
I know I'm suffering from this. What do I do?
Right, right. And the only way I think that you can figure that out is to see someone like you. So many times we try to just figure it out ourselves, right? We
Hmm.
and that comes and then comes self-medicating the wrong
Hmm.
things, right? That makes you feel good for the moment because once that's gone, you're back in that space. But what
Back
is
in
the
that space.
long, right? What is the long-term help that I can get from someone like Andrew
Hmm.
to help me to cope that when it does happen, I'm not going to go take a drink. I'm not going to go take drugs, to cover it up. I'm fixing this thing, it's helping me to fix
Yeah, for
it.
sure.
And
And
people,
it doesn't necessarily have to be one solution either. That's one of the things I like to, really hammer home with people. Embrace the coaching, but also embrace other forms of self care, personal relaxation. Get a massage, try other forms of relaxation, therapy.
yes,
Take all these things in, find your own personalized version of relaxation, of healing, of putting yourself down the right path. And then you can kind of tailor it to your needs and get those even better, stronger, magnified results.
right. Someone invited me to talk about self-care, you know.
Hmm.
And when we talk about self-care, we think about, oh, a woman, you go get your nails done, get your hair done, you're good. But self-care is more than that. It's your mental,
Hmm.
it's understanding who you are, really
Hmm.
knowing who you are. I'm self-care for me is from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, and what
Hmm.
all, know yourself and where things are going wrong so you identify that. When we talk about people in business,
Yeah.
it's do you find it harder to get a business minded person to admit that I have something going on because really it's just I'm busy. Oh, I'm just busy,
Yeah.
and how do you handle that?
I do see a lot of that. And part of that too is a lot of the times we don't want to be seen as vulnerable. We don't want to be seen as slower than anyone else. We
Yeah.
want to be go, go, go. I if I'm gonna point fingers, I point it at myself. I always want that go, go, go. I
Yeah.
want to achieve and excel and check everything off my list. So from that standpoint, yeah, there's a lot of times where the attention isn't on going slower or taking a step back in order to go farther and to go faster. Sometimes the best way to go faster is to take that relaxation, is to have that break, that breath, breathe new life, bring more energy into your work, your passion, your soul.
I believe it. I believe it. I sometimes you have to stop and breathe. It's
Hmm.
when you're and I feel like a part of COVID was like getting people's attention and say, hey, everything
Hmm.
shut down. Now you have to sit down and you have to breathe and you have to do those things for
Yeah.
yourself now, right? Because you can't go nowhere. And it wasn't just in one place or another, it was across the world. It was the whole world was shut down,
Yeah.
right? So everybody, if they took advantage of it, was able to breathe, and
Hmm.
figure it out from there. And hopefully it helped. I know I've talked to a lot of people and it really kind of helped them to get in tune with themselves, as they were able to just kind of go through their entire business and change that around and
Yeah.
just stay in the bed all day if they wanted to, or get up and
Hmm.
do, you know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I want to turn the tables just a little bit with you, Andrew.
Sure.
You guys out there, if you're listening and if you got in the magazine, you understand that Andrew wrote, Am I Black? I want to talk about that, Andrew. It was an
Yeah.
amazing article. Like I got so many
Thank you.
compliments to you that
Oh, thank
I
you.
should be shouting that out to you and letting you know that. So I'm telling you now. And they were like, so many people were able to relate to that. I
Hmm.
I want to talk about your thoughts. What were you think? You laid it out, but Tell us, share with us what you went through a little bit
Yeah.
more and how that felt, how that made you feel a little bit more.
Yeah, it was really interesting to write because I had to go back to that place and I forgot I had been in that place.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, growing up, I was in a very predominantly white city, but as a kid, it's just not a thing. You know, right? You don't care about race. You just care who has the cool toys, who's your friend, whatever. So then when I moved cities and I'm a little bit older at that point, I'm a preteen, kids know more. They still don't understand a lot, but they know more. So
Mhm.
then suddenly my label switches. I'm the black kid. And it was such a shift because logically I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But emotionally and culturally, it
Right.
was it was really weird to wrap my head around because especially like I could go like to one of the neighboring cities where there's more of a black community
Mhm.
and there's more of that kind of subculture. I stuck out.
Yeah.
I didn't fit in the way I talk or the way I act or
Yeah.
the way I
True.
think.
Yeah.
It's just different. Not better, worse, anything, just so different.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, that's black. But then there's the white people and there's the black people. Like, who am I? You
Yeah.
know, am I black enough to be black? Am
Right.
I white enough to be white?
Wow.
Does it is it based on what I look like? It was so much soul searching, so many questions. And then, this time in high school, my class read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I was the only person of color, or at least the only black person present. So,
Yeah.
automatically I'm the authority. A 15-year-old kid. I don't even know if I'm actually black or not. I was like discussing these really high level issues on race
Wow.
with white people. Like, well, none of you really know
At
what's going
that. Wow, Andrew.
on. So yeah, it was a real search to
Yeah.
figure out, who I am and where I fit in the community. So, slowly, especially as I moved to university, I picked a very multicultural university, and that was on purpose.
Yes.
I really wanted more exposure, and there's a lot of culture shock, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Learning about people who come from different backgrounds and different countries, so piece by piece, I kind of got more of a sense of what it is to be black. I watched a lot of TV, read a lot of articles, submerged myself, listened to a lot of black music. Just all anything I could get my hands on to really embrace my culture and my heritage so I could not only say I'm black, but feel I'm black, to
Yeah.
know the struggles.
Yeah.
Because, I grew up very privileged. I have a lot of white light skin privilege that I come from, and I also acknowledge that.
Yeah.
So that was also kind of part of my journey in identifying, well, I don't have the struggle that a lot of other black people do, especially dark skinned individuals.
Yeah.
I have never dealt with half the stuff, not even half the stuff they've dealt with.
Right.
They deal with it on a regular basis. I
Mm.
don't have that experience. So where I got to within university, I was like, okay, so I am black. I'm a mixed individual. I'm black. I'm Guyanese. I want to use this, who I am, within the community and
Excellent.
for the community. If I have light skin privilege, if I have white privilege from being mixed, I want to use that for the community. If that gives me more access to more resources, more tools, more knowledge, more groups, then I want to use that and bring more of the black community with me when I go to these places. That's why, when I started my business and when I came across you, Marva, it was such a no brainer. Of course, I want to work with the Black Is magazine. Of course, I want my culture and these people to be such a fundamental part of everything I'm doing
Right.
because I want to share everything that I have for the community.
Right. Andrew, whenever you talk about, there's two different things here. When you talk
Yeah.
about the kids, right? When you're growing up as a kid, you're right. Kids don't care about color until
No.
they're taught that later on, right? Because they don't understand that. So they just see kids and they want to play. You got the cool toy I'm
That's
playing with. I don't care what you look like. I'm playing with you, right? So
exactly.
kids cling to kids. But yes, as you grow, as you get older, then that has been either placed in them, they've heard it somewhere, and now there's prejudice, this prejudice
Hmm.
against whatever race, right? And so it's a
Hmm.
taught thing, it's a learned thing because when we're born, we don't know that, right? Kids don't know that. And so, and haven't had anyone to go that deep with am I black? Like that was deep for me. Like I read it several times and
Thank
people
you.
and kind of put it in the front on purpose so that people could notice it, right? And they
Yeah.
noticed, they talked about it because these days mixed culture is popular, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot. We have mixed babies in our families that we love, and we don't look at them as mixed babies. We look at them our babies, my
Yeah.
my baby great my great nieces and nephews, they're all mixed, but we don't say that, we don't talk about that. You're just our family, right? And
Hmm.
so I would hope that because it's so much popular, so much more popular these days, that they don't have to go through that and identify, am
Yeah.
am I black? Am I white? Yes, you're black and you're white. You're black and you're whatever, right? You're both of
Hmm.
those things and you rock at both of those things.
And
Maybe
that's part of it too, is the visibility is also something I wanted to share.
yes.
Especially for me growing up, no one on either side of my family looked like me, which was never a big deal.
Wow.
But it's still that, like, most people have a sister, a brother, or a cousin. It's like, oh, you're family. Like, I
Yeah.
can tell.
Yeah.
And I didn't really notice it until I think I was probably about 19, 20. And then I have mixed cousins now. I was like, look, they look like me. Like, they look like me. And
Yeah.
that was like, oh, I've never had this before. Like,
Wow.
I didn't know what that felt like.
Wow. Andrew. Well, I think you're amazing. I really do.
Thank
And
you.
I'm just so glad that you're a part of us, a part of magazine, of the magazine, and a part of Black is because, and I can't
Thank
wait
you.
till we get to the next level so we can all feel you know, the gift of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and just continue to grow and bring diverse
Mhm.
individuals into this circle of ours, right? Because that's what Black is Magazine stands for. We're talking about inclusion and diversity. We're not just saying our Black is
Mhm.
Magazine is all about Black people. We're saying it's all about humanity, right? And we
Yes.
don't want anyone to feel unwelcome. We don't want anyone to wonder, do they really want me to be a part of this, because of who I am? No, no, we're not acting like that. So I can appreciate that. But I really wanted you to talk about that because so many people ask about that article and it's like, who is he? And I was like, I can connect you to him.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
awesome.
Yeah. So I can't wait till they actually see the interview and really hear from your mouth what
Yeah.
you were feeling. The people that are in your that walk in your shoes, that are mixed cultures can relate to that. So how did you get past?
Yeah, it definitely helped a lot in the process, that exposure, that learning about things from people who have the firsthand experience was really important for me. I noticed actually in last year when we had a lot of the protesting and a lot of the George Floyd movement, all of that, I learned about myself that I need to have that platform of being informed.
Yeah.
So a lot of us, I'm sure you felt this too. There was that overwhelm. There was that what's happening, that uncertainty. But where I felt more secure is when I was able to read and I was able to, you know, see the issues from a bunch of different
Right.
perspectives and
Right.
have that knowledge base. So that's a key, like, fundamental part of it for me.
Mm-hmm.
As for my identity, to be completely honest,
Yeah.
I'm still a little tentative, because I still haven't quite been in too many situations in a completely Black community.
Right.
I've gotten in more multicultural, but I'm still curious, how would I react or how would I interact within, a more like predominantly Black community?
I,
There's still room for me to grow and learn in
oh,
that kind of aspect.
always. What also caught my attention when you were talking is that you know, you're mixed, right? And you go
Hmm.
into this place where there's all Black people, and
Hmm.
you are Black, and but you act a little different than maybe the Black people. You talk a little
Yeah.
different than the Black people, more privileged than these Black people, right? So I could see where you're like, do I really fit here? And that's
Hmm.
something to deal with. Like, I know that these are my people. This is where I come from, this is part of my
Yeah.
heritage. And
I
but
have the DNA test to prove it.
right, right. And do I belong? Well, absolutely you belong. How do you get comfortable in that situation? I think what it is, Andrew, is that you just have to be placed in that
Yeah.
situation more to figure that out because people
Yeah, for
break you.
sure.
Right. It's scary though. I can imagine it being kind of scary,
Yeah, it could be a little overwhelming. And that was also part of the reason why, I love Black music, but I also made an effort to really embrace it and really to like, okay, let me listen to Janet, let me listen to, Lizzo and different artists that are,
Yeah.
that are Black and very culture, like epitomes of Black
Yeah.
culture in certain ways.
When this happened, a lot of people came to me that were not of the Black culture, right? Mainly white people came to me
Right.
and didn't know, like they were afraid to ask the question because they didn't want to offend me. Because a lot of them was like, I just want to know so I can be better. I don't want to treat people like that. And if I ever acted like that, I'm sorry. We got a lot of that. So I think it's
Okay.
a big part of it is educating yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And asking the right questions.
Asking the right questions. What is it? First of all, what's the name of your business so that people can find you?
Yeah, so right now, I just run everything through my Instagram account. I like to keep it really intimate.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find me on Instagram at andrewomalley.co. That way, I can DM you directly. We could chat, get to know where you're at right now, and if it makes sense for us to work together, then we can move forward. Or if not, I just point you in the right direction that's best for you.
I want before you go on, the c.co is really literally .co. It's not .com because
Correct.
people are so used to saying .com and they get it
Yeah,
wrong. It's .co. So we got to just remember that it's not an M on the end of that. I wanted people
yeah.
to know that. Yeah. We got that wrong.
It was no worries. It was taken already. So yeah, .co and
Yeah.
you'll find me.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people that I want to connect with you that I've met that are amazing.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get you guys connected. Tell me what you're doing to help. So do you actually help people to grow their business and their revenue? Because a lot of people that I've talked to just in the past month, it's like, I have this great business. I have, it's
Yeah.
it could be great, but I don't know how to get it out there and market it more. And I don't know how to bring the revenue in. And
Hmm.
I'm getting my feelings too much in it. I'm giving stuff away. How do I make myself stop that and really have a business mind? So we're
Yeah.
those kind of questions. How do you handle that?
Yeah, that's in the work. I get a lot of those too. A lot of people are super keen, especially in everything that's happened the last year, to
Yeah.
open their online business or to take things online.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite there yet. I do have, a business boot camp in the works in my head turning over. But no, so right now I work more with the person,
Okay.
more with helping them show up within their own business or within their own job, so they could have a better approach to handle anxiety and stress better,
Okay.
or to have more confidence,
Yeah.
learn how to communicate better, to not get trampled over. It depends person to person, obviously,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's really to help them up level themselves so
Yeah.
they can really show up as a better version. Because I mean, I'm sure you've felt it too. When you're in business, you take so many punches. There's a lot of things that go wrong. There's a lot of things that just
Yeah.
are overwhelming. It
Yeah.
feels like the work just piles up.
Yeah.
So it's always great to have a coach because they can help you and use proven methods to
Yeah.
help you get to where you want to go.
I
That
like.
was something that I've actually experienced a couple times in my business. I know where I want to go, but then I get off course or I
Yeah.
get distracted by the new thing, the new
Yeah.
shiny button. So having a coach, we keep you honest, we keep you accountable,
Yeah.
and we help you have fun.
Yeah.
You don't want to hate your
Awesome.
job. You don't want to hate your business.
Really? You built it, but you hate it now. How would that be?
Uh, it's more common than some people might think.
Wow. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for spending your time with us this evening. I know you're a
My
busy
pleasure.
person. We appreciate you, and for sure, Black Kids Magazine appreciates everything that you do and all the great connections that you send our way. Like,
Thank
I
you.
don't know, you guys, I'm telling you, got to hook up with Andrew. You've got
I
to do that.
surprised myself.
Like, you are, it's just amazing. And so I will definitely always be your biggest cheerleader, and I will always
Thank you.
champion your work and send people your way. I definitely got a person in mind that I want to connect with you, and then it can be
Yeah.
a trickle effect after that. So we want to look out for one another,
Yeah.
right? We're in business, but we want to kind of embrace each other. Make sure, because I always look at business as not a competition. It's
Mhm.
like we want to, where can I help you? Where can I
Yeah.
step in and help, right? That's how I
Yeah.
look at it. And I feel like that's what we have at Black is Magazine. So thank you for everything, Andrew. And I mean that
Thank
sincerely.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Your win is my win, so I'm super
Yes.
excited to support you. I'm also, yeah, if anyone wants to send me a message, I'm super like keen to hear everyone else's stories
Yes.
because
I'm going
I
to
should. Yeah,
definitely send your way a couple of people I know right off that I'll get you connected. And the one I'm talking about will definitely reach out to you. And it like, she's amazing. She is amazing.
I
So,
love
so
that.
we'll get you connected. So, you guys, we're going to get out of here. It was a great interview. We're going to give Andrew some time back for the evening. But you guys, he put his social media contacts out there. We'll have it in the description in the below once we get the interview out there. So, in the meantime, we're going to go. But in the meantime, you guys, respect yourself and respect each other. We are out.